Attention passionate Montreal, Canadiens fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the Atlantic Division and it could shake up the entire conference. We're talking about a direct impact on Montreal Canadiens' path to another Stanley Cup run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Montreal Canadiens fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Montreal Canadiens fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been following the Canadiens closely, you know that this offseason has been filled with whispers, rumors, and strategic moves that could reshape the team's future. And right now, the spotlight is on a very sensitive and crucial topic: the potential move of Carey Price's contract. Yes, the legendary goaltender who has been the face of this franchise for years, who has battled injuries and setbacks, might be on the verge of a significant contract maneuver by the Canadiens. This isn't just about cap space. It's about setting the stage for what could be a new chapter in Montreal's hockey story. Carey Price, as many of you know, has not played since 2022 because of a serious knee injury that was initially thought to be career-ending. The injury was severe enough that the Canadiens had to put his contract on long-term injury reserve, or LTIR, which is a common move to help teams manage their salary cap. But what's interesting now is that this arrangement might change soon. According to a report published by RG Media on August 12, there's speculation that Montreal might actually move the final year of Price's contract, which is a move that's got a lot of implications. Price's contract is valued at a staggering $10.5 million cap hit, and for a long time, it's been essentially dormant since he's been unable to play. But with the team currently over the salary cap ceiling by about $5.9 million, the Canadiens are in a tricky spot. They need to find a way to free up cap space, and moving Price's contract could be the key. If Montreal decides to move Price's $10.5 million cap hit to LTIR, they'd free up roughly $4 million in cap space, which is no small feat. But here's the catch: that move alone isn't necessarily the endgame. The real strategic play, as some insiders suggest, could be to use Price's contract as a bargaining chip. Instead of simply placing him on LTIR and letting it sit there, the Canadiens might leverage it to acquire assets, draft picks, prospects, or other pieces that fit into their long-term rebuilding plan. This is a tactic often used by teams looking to rebuild or retool without sacrificing their current roster. It's about being smart with cap management while still keeping your core intact, and Montreal, under the guidance of GM Kent Hughes and EVP Jeff Gorton, has shown a willingness to be creative and aggressive in their approach. And here's a crucial detail: there's a deadline approaching on September 1. That's when the Canadiens will have to decide whether to move Price's contract or keep it on LTIR. The reason? Price has a $5.5 million signing bonus due on that date. Once that bonus is paid out, whoever takes on his contract will owe Price $2 million in actual cash, even though the cap hit remains $10.5 million. And thanks to insurance that covers 60% of that bonus, the financial burden on the acquiring team isn't as heavy as it looks. This window creates a very specific opportunity for teams looking to reach the salary cap floor, which is a significant factor in the NHL's financial landscape. Now, the most intriguing part of this story is what happens next. The report suggests that Montreal might not be looking to simply dump Price's contract for the sake of cap relief. They might be aiming to turn this into a strategic asset, one that could help them in future trades or negotiations. The most likely outcome: draft picks, prospects, or a combination of both. The Canadiens could then use those assets as currency to acquire players or draft selections that better fit their vision for the team's future. This kind of move isn't just about cap management. It's about rebuilding with purpose, about positioning themselves to be competitive in the coming years without sacrificing their core or their long-term prospects. But as with any trade rumor, the question remains: which teams are really in the mix? Well, right now, there's no definitive answer. The report cites an anonymous NHL source who indicates that teams like the New York Rangers, potentially under the leadership of Gorton and Hughes, could be interested. They're known for their aggressive approach in the summer and early fall, often making moves that surprise the hockey world. The idea is that once Price's contract is off the books, those teams could be in a better position to meet the salary cap floor, and Montreal could be looking to capitalize on that by exchanging Price's contract for assets that align with their rebuild. And let's not forget the timing of this potential move. The NHL offseason often sees quiet periods, but August and September can be surprisingly active. Teams are finalizing their rosters, adjusting their cap strategies, and looking for that one move that could give them an edge. The Canadiens, with their deep understanding of their cap situation, are likely waiting for the right moment, perhaps in the last days leading up to training camp, to pull the trigger on such a significant trade. Now, what could Montreal realistically get in return? Well, most analysts believe that draft picks or prospects are the most probable assets. These are valuable commodities for a rebuilding team like Montreal, which is still in the process of retooling its roster. Acquiring future assets allows them to keep their options open, to draft a potential star, or to develop prospects that can fill key roles down the line. The flexibility that comes with cap space is vital, especially when you're trying to build a team that can contend again in a few seasons. Of course, the entire process is complex, and there are multiple factors at play. The insurance coverage on Price's contract makes it more attractive for teams that might be wary of the financial risk. The deadline on September 1 is a hard stop, after which the opportunity might close. And the strategic considerations, whether to move the contract now or hold onto it a little longer, will depend on how the Canadiens assess their current roster needs and future plans. What's truly exciting is that this move, if it happens, could signal a new phase for Montreal. It's a sign that the franchise is not just looking to patch things up temporarily, but is actively seeking ways to position itself for sustained success. Whether that means acquiring draft capital, prospects, or simply clearing cap space to make a splash in free agency later in the offseason, this is a story worth watching closely. And for all of you fans out there, I know how much Price means to this team and to the city of Montreal. His struggles and comebacks have been part of the fabric of this franchise's recent history. But sometimes, strategic moves are necessary for the long-term health of the team, and that might mean making tough decisions about even the most beloved players. Still, no matter what happens, the passion for the Canadiens remains strong, and the hope is that whatever move they make will set them on a path back to greatness. As we get closer to the September 1 deadline, keep your eyes peeled. Expect rumors to intensify, insiders to speculate, and perhaps even some surprises. The Canadiens could very well be preparing to do something bold, something that will resonate in the hockey world. Whether it's a trade, a move for future assets, or a strategic cap maneuver, it's clear that Montreal is actively exploring options to strengthen their position. And now, Montreal Canadiens fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you think Montreal will move Carey Price's contract? Are you excited about the idea of acquiring draft picks or prospects? Or do you believe they should hold on to him, especially considering his legacy? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Canadiens. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Montreal Canadiens news. This offseason is far from over, and if history is any guide, Montreal might just surprise us all in the coming weeks.